What is up, guys? My name is Anime here, and welcome back to a new story called "What If Naruto Was Trained by Anko?" Naruto X Anko in the storyline. Before I begin this new story, I hope you enjoy this video. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below if new. But before I begin this, I'm just going to say I'm very sorry for not posting any videos lately. I'm not gonna be the one who's talking in this channel or in this video for a couple of things, but just to let you guys know that I'm still here and not skedaddling off YouTube. But I'm very sorry, and I'm very sorry for not posting any videos lately. But I was working on two projects of both separate what ifs. What if Naruto such and such, which is going to be blank because it's none of your concern until I finish the storyline. I'm going from chapter 1 to chapter 10 for that story of What If Naruto, from chapter 1 to chapter 19 from What If Deku such and such. And a third story is going from Dragon Ball of What If Goku was the Omni King, or was the king of all kings, or was a super Omni Lord. Something of that sort, you know? Like I posted back in the day of What If Goku was a Supreme King, or Supreme Kai, whatever. But hope you enjoy this one. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below if you're new. And my name is Anime, and I'm very, very sorry. So enjoy chapter 1 of A New Sensei. Enjoy chapter 1 of A New Sensei, The Snake of Konohagakure.
Snakes of Konohagakure upload. Chapter 1, A New Sensei. Naruto Uzumaki stood alongside his two teammates Sakura Haruno and Sasaki waiting for their sensei to show. As per usual, he was very late. Naruto leaned against a tree trying to think of what they, and by they he really meant Sasaki, would learn today. But he didn't really care. He had found out a secret last night when he was trying to work on his taijutsu by fighting a horde of clones. That secret was whatever his clones learned he would learn. At least that's what he thought it was. After defeating all his clones, he noticed he had their memories of how he beat each one. This made him very happy. He finally had something over Sasaki. Naruto looked up just in time to see Kakashi appear via a shunshin. With his standard yo greeting, the day began. Kakashi-sensei, what are we going to learn today? Naruto asked, hoping he would finally give himself and Sakura some pointers. Kakashi looked at him and gave an eyes smile. Naruto, I need you to work on your chakra control. It's abysmal at best. So get a leaf and practice by holding on your head for as long as you can. Sakura, you need to work on your physical conditioning still, so start running laps. Sasaki, it's time we work on your taijutsu, Kakashi said, making Naruto simply turn and walk away. This happened every day. He would give him and Sakura some mundane thing to do while he would focus on Sasaki. Naruto rolled his eyes and left the field, not feeling like training. He knew there wasn't a mission today, or they would have done that before their training. If you could call it that. Naruto stopped when he remembered that a certain Hyuga had shoved him a few days ago for no reason. It was time for some payback. Kakashi watched Naruto simply leave the training ground and gave a sigh. It seemed like Naruto didn't even care about getting stronger. All that mattered to him was pranking someone. 1 hour later. Not sated in his need for petty revenge on the Hyuga, who now had bright yellow hair and only orange clothes, Naruto moved out of the village and into a field to begin the new training he had concocted. If he learned what his clones learned, he could kick up his training. Okay, if I remember it right. I remembered the hits and how they happened, but I didn't get any stronger. So maybe it doesn't help with my actual strength and whatnot. So maybe keep them on chakra control. I'm going to need a lot of leaves, Naruto thought. He stopped when he heard a crash and a figure came flying into his vision. Whoa, what the hell, Kiba? Naruto asked, looking at his former classmate. Naruto, Kiba looked at the blonde in surprise. "Hey man, what are you doing out here?" Naruto asked. "Personal training time with Kurone-sensei. She gives each of us a few hours a day 2 days a week to help us focus on fixing our weaknesses and improving our strengths," Kiba explained. "Why'd you stop charging, Kiba?" Kurone said as she appeared on top of a toppled tree. "Hello Kurone-san," Naruto gave a light bow to the Jonin. "Hello Uzumaki-san," Kurone gave a light wave in return. "Not to interrupt your training, Kiba, Kurone-san, but I have a quick question, and since my Jonin-sensei has been less than useless in training our team, I was hoping you might be able to answer my question real quick," Naruto asked. Kurone glanced at Kiba for a moment then gave a smile. "Sure, we'll take lunch now, Kiba," Kurone said with a soft smile. "Hey sensei," Kiba said as he sped off to find Akamaru and to get their lunches. "What would you like to ask me?" Kurone asked. "My sensei has said on countless occasions that my chakra control is abysmal at best. What I was wondering was if there is a better way to learn chakra control over the leaf exercise?" Naruto asked. Kurone rubbed her chin for a moment wondering if it would be okay to show him the 2 exercises she knew. After a moment she gave in. The boy was asking for help and who was she to send him away? "I know of 2. Water walking and tree climbing," Kurone said. "Water walking sounds right, but tree climbing?" Naruto asked. Kurone nodded then moved over to a tree and proceeded to walk up to it. "Oh, like that?" Naruto watched in surprise as she easily walked up half the tree and back down. The key to tree walking is getting the right amount of chakra to stick you to the tree. Too much and break the bark and shoot off too little and you slip and fall, Kurone explained. "And water walking?" Naruto asked. "Get tree climbing down first, then I'll show you water walking," Kurone said. Naruto nodded happily then took off to start training. "Thank you Kurone-sensei," Naruto shouted as he disappeared into the forest. "I should probably tell Hokage-sama that Team 7 hasn't learned tree climbing yet," Kurone thought as she turned back as Kiba landed back in the clearing with their food. Naruto barely managed to stumble into his apartment at the end of the night. He hadn't expected the blowback from his clones to hurt as much as it did. His head felt like it was on fire. He reached his bed and hit it with a thud ready to fall asleep until he heard a soft knock on his window. "Hey?" Naruto asked as he opened the window to see an Anbu. "Hokage-sama wishes to see you tomorrow morning at 10, the Anbu said. "Understood," Naruto said with a nod. The Anbu vanished and Naruto fell asleep. The next morning, Team 7 stood before the Konoha Council. Well, 3 people weren't much of a council, but that's what they went by. It was Homura Mitokado, Kaharu Utaten, Danzo Shimura along with the Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi. The 3 genin were all confused as to why they were standing before the Hokage and his advisors. "I assume you are wondering why you are here?" Hiruzen asked. The 3 simply nodded. Even Naruto knew it wouldn't be a good idea to run his mouth, and waited to be told why. "What the council and myself have decided to do is every 6 months the genin teams that are in the rotation will be brought in here from evaluation," Hiruzen explained. "These evaluations will work as such. We will hear from each of you one at a time about your progress on your team. Nothing you say will be told to your teammates. These evaluations are meant to be a one-on-one kind of work. We want honest answers and responses. Now if you 3 will step out. We will be starting with Kakashi," Hiruzen finished and the 3 genin moved out of the room. Naruto sat waiting still. Kakashi had gone first then was dismissed. He had told them their day was done once they were free from their meeting. Sakura opted to go second since she was the girl. "Ladies first," she told Naruto before she cracked him in the head as he tried to step into the office. Sasuke shoved Naruto out of the way once Sakura left, claiming that a clainless dope has nowhere to be, so he had plenty of time to wait. Naruto growled. He was really starting to hate Sasuke. And after that last hit from Sakura, he was starting to doubt his love for the pink-haired teammate. Finally, it was his turn, and he did not like the looks he was getting once he stepped into the office. Homura, Kaharu, and Danzo all looked upset, while Hiruzen looked indifferent. Yup, he definitely didn't like those looks. So Naruto, like the others, we will tell you what Kakashi said about you first. And if he was right, I am quite disappointed in you. Kakashi seems to believe that you don't take your training seriously and opt to pull pranks rather than train, Hiruzen said. He nearly fell back when he felt a massive amount of killing intent burst from Naruto and his eyes turned red. He what? I train harder and more than both the pink-haired bitch and the pampered bastard combined, Naruto all but roared. I'm the one that trains until his bones crack, he added. Calm yourself, Hiruzen spoke. He didn't like Naruto losing his cool like this. It was dangerous, to say the least. No. I've been the happy-go-lucky dope long enough. I am sick and tired of my team looking down on me. You want to know what I think? Haruno is a useless piece of shit. She doesn't help on missions, always claiming it's not a girl's job to pick vegetables or hoe a field. Uchiha never shuts up about how he is simply a better class than me because he comes from a clan and I'm a clainless orphan whose parents abandoned him. As for Hitake, he hasn't trained me at all. I've trained myself. Whether it is by my ninjutsu or taijutsu. All Hitake does is train Uchiha. That emo bastard has gotten Tukenjutsu and taijutsu training while I've gotten jack. Naruto screamed. Naruto, Hiruzen stared in shock. If this was true, he owed Naruto one hell of an apology. Fuck this. I quit Team 7. Either give me my own sensei or I'll train myself and become Hokage by myself. It was at this moment Hiruzen noticed Naruto's eyes had shifted back to blue and his hands were bleeding with how tightly he was clenching his hands. We can't give anyone their own personal sensei, Kaharu spoke. But you did, Naruto replied. Hitake hasn't trained me or Haruno. You might as well have made him that bastard sensei and sent us up shit creek, Naruto added. Naruto, calm down now. Hiruzen's words instantly affected Naruto. His anger all subsided instantly and his face fell. His eyes were filled with sorrow rather than rage. Now, as to your request, I think I might have an idea for you, Hiruzen grinned. Naruto's eyebrow cocked up as he heard this. Nico, Hiruzen called, making an Anbu appear. Yes, Hokage-sama? Nico asked. Bring Mitarashi-san to me, Hiruzen said. With a nod, the Anbu was gone. You can't be serious? Homura asked. She's been asking to become a Jonin sensei for a while. This will be a test for her, Hiruzen said. What about Team 7? Danzo asked. I'll find a replacement and put them under a strict eye. If Hitake doesn't shape up, I'll knock him back down to Chunin and lock him in on solo Tora missions for 6 months. Everyone in the room cringed, none of them, Danzo included, like that demon cat. If you need a spy, I might have someone for you, Danzo spoke. We'll talk later, Hiruzen said, knowing where Danzo was going to go with it. Who, Mitarashi? Naruto asked. Just wait. You'll be in for a surprise, Hiruzen said. Naruto only had to wait 2 minutes before the door opened and in walked simply the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. She had what he would guess to be shoulder-length purple hair that was kept in a spiky ponytail, pupilless caramel eyes, deliciously pearly white skin, and a sexy outfit that consisted of a mesh shirt and shorts with a skirt and trench coat to cover her assets and womanhood. That was when she noticed him and smiled. "Whiskers," she said, and Naruto's jaw dropped to the ground. H. Hibi-chan, Naruto spoke softly as he looked at the woman. "Oh, you remember me still?" Anko asked. Naruto couldn't move. His body was frozen. Hibi, as she went by in her time as an Anbu member, was one of his. Scratch that, she was his most precious person. She had saved him time after time from mobs that would have bitten him within an inch of his life, and was the one that gave Naruto his two most precious possessions and gave him his addiction. His Gamma wallet, his orange jumpsuit, and his love for ramen. "Hibi-chan," Naruto cried as he hugged Anko, who happily returned his hug. "I've missed you, Whiskers," Anko laughed as she hugged Naruto. "Save the reunion," Danzo growled. He hated watching sappy crap. "Sorry, Shimura-sama," Anko said with a bow as the two separated. "Now as to why I called you here," Hiruzen started. "Naruto is to be removed from Team 7 and placed into your care," Hiruzen stated, making both of them freeze. "Really?" both of them asked. "Really, Anko, you've wanted to be a Jonin sensei for a while. Well, here's your chance to make Naruto into a splendid shinobi. And once he's become a Chunin, you'll be given your own team. And Naruto, I'm giving you what you wanted. A solo sensei, so no more pranks, eat right, and train hard." "Prove to me that Hatake was wrong," Hiruzen said. "I promise," Naruto shouted. "Okay, Whiskers. I'll let you have today to rest and get ready for hell. Tomorrow at 6 I want you at Training Ground 44, Anko smiled. "Anko, you can't," Kaharu stood. "He's my genin. I'll train him as I see fit." Anko grinned. Her eyes stopped on Naruto, seeing him smiling brightly and nearly hopping with joy. "I'll be there." Where do I find Training Ground 44? Naruto asked. "It's the big forest that's fenced off outside of the village," Anko said. "You know that scary forest I took you in? We had those two rogue Anbu hunting you 5 years ago." Naruto's eyes widened, then he grinned even more. "Gotcha. I'll be there at 6 sharp," Naruto said with a salute. Then he was gone in a flash as he ran from the room with a huge smile on his face. "Anko, there is a second reason I chose you," Hiruzen said with a stern face. "Hey," Anko knelt. "My advisors believe that Naruto may be a flight risk. We need you to keep an eye on him," Hiruzen said. "No need. Whisker would never leave Konoha," Anko said. "And you know this?" Homura asked. "Yup. When he was 6 he proclaimed he would be Hokage. And though I doubt he remembers the second half of his promise, if he did he wouldn't be able to hug me without blushing." "What was the second half?" Hiruzen asked. "That I would be his wife," Anko chuckled. "Now how could he achieve those two things if he left?" Anko added. Hiruzen chuckled lightly at the smile on her face. "Mitarashi-san, you cannot take a genin into the forest of death under any circumstances," Kaharu said. "He's been there before, like you've heard. And I distinctly remember Orochimaru training me in there, and Jiraiya-sama trained the 4th and his team in there at one time as well," Anko replied. "But, enough. Anko is within her rights as a sensei to train Naruto as she deems fit," Hiruzen said. "Now Anko, you are dismissed. Danzo, I believe you wished to speak about a filler for Team 7? Hiruzen turned to face his old partner as Anko vanished. Yes. It is a boy I have en route. I'd like to test to see how one of my root agents files back into society," Danzo explained. "What is the boy's name?" Hiruzen asked. "Sai," Danzo replied. "Very well, bring him. I'd like to meet him before we deploy him," Hiruzen commanded. Danzo nodded and left the room to retrieve him. The next morning, Team 7. Kakashi stood before his team once again. They were within the Hokage's tower. What was confusing to Kakashi was that Naruto was nowhere to be seen. The Hokage will see you now. Kakashi nodded and led his team into the room. He would have to find and scold Naruto later. A good time today, Hiruzen said as he put down a field report. Now to why I called you here today. Not to interrupt Hokage-sama, but Naruto is not here yet, Kakashi spoke. That is the reason I asked you here. Naruto has demanded to be removed from Team 7, Hiruzen said, making all three stop in surprise. So in being removed I called you here to give you your new teammate. Sai, please come in, Hiruzen said. A moment later a young pale boy with black hair and eyes stepped into the room. He was dressed in a pair of black pants, and a black jacket that had one short sleeve and one long sleeve. Hokage-sama, what's going to happen to Naruto? Sakura asked. We had one of our Tokubetsu Jonin volunteers to train him. If she hadn't he would have been sent back to the academy, Hiruzen answered. That doesn't seem fair. He quits our team and is rewarded by getting a solo teacher, Sasuke said with a growl. You'd best revise that tone, Sasuke, Hiruzen said, leveling just a taste of his ki on him. Sasuke froze as he felt the powerful wave hit him. Of course. My apologies, Hokage-sama, Sasuke said weakly. Apology accepted. Now you three have to get acquainted. Off with you, Hiruzen said with a soft smile. Forest of Death. Naruto stood before Anko deep within the Forest of Death. Naruto glanced around. He could see several beasts just beyond the tree line. Okay, Whiskers, here's what we are going to do, Anko said, getting Naruto's undivided attention. First we are going work on your taijutsu and find a few ninjutsu that plays to your style, Anko explained. Wait, you mean you're not going to just have me focus on my chakra control? Naruto asked. Why? Should I? Anko asked. I don't know, that's just what Hitake did, Naruto replied. Well, I'm not him, so how about you get in your taijutsu stance and we start there, Anko said. Naruto nodded and took his stance. Anko's jaw just about hit the ground upon seeing it. It was the worst stance she had ever seen. Okay, we're stopping already. Your taijutsu is useless. We're throwing it out. We'll have to find you a style, Anko said, making Naruto look down ashamed of himself. Sorry, sensei, Naruto said shyly. It's not your fault. Your academy teachers and your Jonin sensei should have fixed it, Anko said before an idea hit her. Now I want you to hit me as hard as you can. Naruto looked at her oddly for a moment, then ran at her, cocking his fist back as he did. Anko grinned right up until his first hit her stomach. Doubling over instantly, Anko realized something. He hit like a bull. After nearly coughing up blood, Anko slowly worked her way back to her feet. Holy shit, was all Anko managed to say as she looked at a very worried Naruto. Are you okay, sensei? Naruto asked. Have you always hit that hard? Anko asked, still holding her stomach. She already figured she'd have to see a doctor to make sure she was okay. I don't know. I usually lost my spars because I wasn't fast enough, Naruto said. Well, then we know what to work on for the moment. We're going to get your speed up and get you a taijutsu style to match that freakish punch you got. And I know just who to go to, Anko said with a grin.
That will be all for today, folks. Chapter 2 will be posted probably tomorrow, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below if you're new and enjoy. Please, peace.